is survival of the fittest. This is do or die.
That is a sound drop that will never go away.
Never gets old, baby.
I'm genuinely worried about you right now,
Never
CJ.
get old, man.
See, this is back to the good old days where CJ was here for every episode and I would just be recording and not telling them I was recording, so I got great sound drops on everybody back then. So anyway, welcome to the post show, everybody. Our, of course, YouTube exclusive experience where we generally aren't talking football. It's just a chance to get to know us a little bit better and hear our thoughts on things. And we're brainstorming what would be a fun thing to talk about because there's a lot of things we have shared interest in, and a lot of that, strangely enough, though we have the same interest, they haven't been directly overlapping as of late, whether it be TV shows, movies, video games, whatever the case may be, things that we all really enjoy, comics, all that types of stuff, nerdy stuff. But one thing that definitely came to mind was something that we commonly, and you probably heard us argue about this on the show before, and it's simply living geographically, East Coast versus West Coast. So,
West Coast?
West Side?
The 80s rivalry all over again.
Yep. So we figured it'd be kind of fun to talk about, the pros and cons to living, and whether it be East Coast, West Coast.
Jason will be representing Tupac, and Griffin will be representing Biggie Smalls.
I always like Tupac better than Biggie, though. So
well, you haven't lived on the West Coast, so
we've already got one.
You're already out of
Look
it.
at that.
Sorry about that.
Dang.
Out of luck, buddy.
But both of you guys have lived on both sides, so
Yep.
I can only weigh in to a certain degree, I guess. I mean, who wants to start with the opening arguments? I mean, we don't have to be at this for super long, but I mean, what are some points that want to be made besides the fact that Jason loves to rub in the fact that for the price of a studio apartment here, you can rent an entire house with acres of land in Arizona where he is
We're
located.
in Maryland, by the way.
Yes,
this is very, very true.
We are in Maryland,
very,
located
very
a little bit south of Baltimore, between Baltimore and D.C., kind of that 20-mile stretch.
Yeah.
So, so go ahead, Jason. We'll let you open this up since this was your big thing that you're constantly harping on us.
I am constantly harping on you, yeah. And you should come out here. It'd be amazing. As you already alluded to, the cost of living out here is so much cheaper. It's ridiculous, and we're not all stacked in like Cornwood, So that's my first major point is that
they're good points.
Just the quality of the quality of life out here is much better because you don't have to worry necessarily about where am I going to find a place to live? It's just too expensive. $2,000 a month. That gets you a really large house here. That's like a 2,200, 25 to 2,500 square foot house with acreage.
So living like Tupac, I got it.
Basically.
Like Tupac.
For a period of time there, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So that's a pro.
They got a movie coming out.
That's a pro for the West.
The man's made more money dead than he ever did alive.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, it that's all true. I mean, the price is drastically less there, and of course, as you said, not all stacked in. Maryland, the most congested state in the country based on people per square foot.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't contest either of those facts. I can say that there's a lot more things to do here. There's culture, there's the water, there's oceans. There's accessibility to a number of major cities very close by, though, I mean, in Arizona, you're not too terribly far from a lot of course, the big California cities, Vegas, things like that. So not necessarily a great point, but I don't know.
Sure, 6 hours from San Diego.
Yeah, and of course, when it comes to us doing these 6 hours, dang.
That's a little drive. That's a big drive, Jason.
We're like 4 hours from New York.
Jason, I got to let you know you're losing on that one, but
yeah.
I'm not trying to drive no 6 hours to somewhere.
2 hours to Philly, 4 hours to New York, about 20 minutes to Baltimore, 20 minutes to D.C. A lot of stuff in close proximity. Not to mention the history here. I mean, talk about American history, something you wouldn't know anything about, Jason.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
No.
Ooh.
I wouldn't know anything about that? Okay, let me tell you something, pal.
Shots fired!
I live
Man who served in the army.
Swerve.
Shots fired.
I live exactly 15 minutes from the OK Corral, pal.
Okay.
So we want to talk about American history.
That's where Zorro
I
was
live
filmed.
where Wyatt Earp used to live. I also live near Bisbee, which is one of the biggest towns in the silver and gold rush back in the day.
Okay.
So there's history here.
I live like 20 miles from a place that was being developed all of about a couple hundred years before that. 20 miles from where George Washington lived, stuff like that. Going even further back in time, American Revolution.
Man, you guys are so much.
I know
So
it's
much
pretty
going on
off
here.
topic. Not necessarily a pro and a con of what East Coast, West Coast. Of course,
It's too icky.
I don't know. CJ, you weigh in here. You've lived both places.
Well, listen, I grew
Yeah, where are
up.
you at, CJ?
I grew up. A big part of my younger childhood was in Arizona. Love the area. Love the West Coast. Mom from Vegas. My dad from California. Came out here in Maryland. I actually went to a couple places before I came here, but been here ever since the year 2000. Gotta let you know, if I had the option, I would go back West Coast. I still plan to go back West Coast, but I won't. I'll say this area is nice. It's okay. It's okay. I like the water. I'm a big water guy, so that is a plus from Arizona because it's.
You can own a boat.
You can own a boat there.
Here.
I mean, you could own a boat in Arizona. It'll just be in your yard as a guard gnome, basically.
What's a really weird stat is that Arizona actually has the highest boat ownership of any state.
Yeah, I can see
Isn't
that.
that weird?
I can see that.
I find that
very strange.
hard to believe.
I can see that.
Maryland is the sailing.
It's true.
Annapolis, specifically, capital of Maryland, is the sailing capital of the United States.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
So-
but how many of you people can actually afford a boat? You can barely
You
afford
people.
to pay for your
You
apartment.
people.
You people.
The cost of living is high
That's
here
right.
for a reason because people make stupid money generally around the area. I
Yeah.
mean, if you go to a place like Annapolis,
that-
there's sails and yachts and mega yachts as far as the eye can see. Not to mention up in
That is a
Baltimore,
pro.
where it's marina everywhere. It's all stacked.
Well, that is a pro because here in Arizona, as I'm sure CJ will agree with, the cost at how much you make is actually much lower than it is out east.
Yeah.
You make much less.
Ballin'!
As a matter of fact, Arizona just raised the minimum wage to $10 an hour.
Oh,
It was
Wow.
before that.
Spend it.
It was eight. I think it was $8.30 before that.
I don't know what the minimum wage is here, but I feel like it's not far off
like
of that.
$15 now.
Is it really?
It's got up. It's gone up.
It can't be $15.
It's up there, buddy. I'm telling you.
That's
It's
crazy.
It's up there.
I'm an operations manager for a company, and I barely make more than that. I need a raise.
You need to go start working at McDonald's or something, buddy.
Right? I'd have an
Right,
easier
you get
day.
that money.
Yeah. You know.
Dang.
You know what? Another pro here. Another pro. The weather. The weather.
Hey,
That
we
is-
get seasons
Our
here.
weather
Yeah.
is our weather is head and shoulders better than you guys' weather. We don't
It's-
get ridiculous amounts of snow.
That's one point for
And
Jason.
especially where I'm living, it doesn't get ridiculously hot here either. I mean, it's not up in the 100, and it's not like Phoenix weather. It's not like 120 degrees out here.
Jason,
So
I always give people when
weather's
I
nice.
when I tell them where I'm from, they go like, "Oh man, Tucson, oh that heat." I say, listen, there's a difference between dry heat that you can get used to
Oh, God,
versus to humidity out here in the
Yeah.
Maryland area
It's
that is
crazy.
just unbearable.
Yeah, 100 plus with
When we were
98
doing
to
stunt
100%
shows-
humidity. Yeah, it's rough here.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, when I was doing stunt shows in Arizona, here in Arizona, like you get your shirt all wet from sweat and stuff. You hang that sucker up, and like 30 minutes later, it is bone dry. Whereas in Maryland, I think you guys would hang up your shirts after a show, and those things would be wet like 3 days later.
Yeah, they would still be wet the
The
next day.
humidity.
Putting on wet
It's
clothes,
crazy.
wet,
Oh, that's
sweaty
so
clothes.
Fun. So fun.
Peeling back the curtain here, and
Yeah.
you weren't here this year at the park, CJ, but the final year that you were there, well, we were both there, Jason, with Jose from Puerto Rico. One of my favorite stories when he came back into the dressing room after a show, throws all of his stuff on the ground, and goes, "Why is it so freaking hot here?" And I was like, "Jose, you're from Puerto Rico. What are you talking about? That's so much further south than here." He goes, "Yeah, but there it's a dry heat. This is ridiculous." And I was like, "Oh,
Yep.
dang, I didn't realize it was that big of a difference." So
It is
Only-
totally
only
different,
the
dude.
weather.
The first time you come out here, you're going to find out. You'll be like, oh, my God, it's so much nicer.
Are you gonna host me? All I've ever known is humid heat, so
Sure.
that's what I'm
I
accustomed
got four.
to.
I got 4 bedrooms. Get you about out here.
Humble brag, yeah.
He said he's got a paddle boat.
Just
he
another
can
con.
yeah.
Just
swim
another
around.
con.
swim
Man,
around.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good counter narrative for East Coast living. I mean,
You really don't have any. You just got. I
There's
talk
not
to
a lot.
more people. People come out here really because of jobs, or they might just have migrated. Like it would be a different story if I grew up all West Coast in my life and I never been anywhere else, and I come out here. They're like, oh yeah, I get to see the different seasons. As far as like snow and experience cold and stuff,
Hurricanes.
hurricanes, all that stuff that life is all full of gummy bears and everything like that.
Yep.
But yeah, man.
Gummy
So
bears.
it's just different. It's different from people, man.
It is totally is. And the fact that Vegas is right there, pretty much. I mean, it's a drive. It's a heck of a drive. But you know what? It's a lot shorter drive than from Maryland. And there's things. Yeah. There are things to do out here. I mean, Tucson's actually got its own zoo, and it's actually a little foodie town. There's a lot of really good food there. And as I mentioned off the air with you guys, the Mexican food here is ridiculous. I mean, it's about as authentic as you get.
He's Mexican.
As it should be, absolutely. I mean, I literally live like 25 minutes from Naco, Mexico. So yeah,
his family owns that.
It's very good here. I enjoy it.
Home is where the sombrero is.
Yes, as we get to say things into our microphones that you can't necessarily hear, Jason.
I hear everything you guys are saying.
He's choosing to ignore it. Man, I don't know. To me, I just love the East Coast. For all the reasons I previously stated. I mean, nation's capital is here. All the major cities, the culture.
All one or two reasons that you stated.
So here's the question.
But it's hard to counter the argument of such affordable living. That's kind of the thing.
I was just getting ready to go there. So true. Here comes the question. So if you were able to, funds, resources come your way, got a nice little thing going on here, and there's an option of you going to the West Coast, would you take it?
No, not even a little bit. For a number of reasons. One, family and friends are here. I'm very family and friends oriented. Two, then I'd be moving away from my Ravens, and who wants to do that?
You could be a Ravens fan out there.
No, because unlike you, I actually try to go and see my team every year, and it'd be hard to...
Listen, you're making some good money where you can be able to fly out and see your Ravens.
I'd be able to save enough money living in Arizona to afford first class flights.
You're making some good money. You're making some good money.
I mean, I'm just saying, I like it here. I've lived here not my entire life, not by a long shot, but for most of my life.
He sounds like he's sheltered. He sounds like he's afraid to let go. That's what it sounds like.
I don't like change.
I've never left, and I will never leave.
Sounds like he doesn't want to let go.
It's like Stewie when there was a hole in the house. Why is this here?
What is this?
What is this? I don't like change. I don't know. I'm sure there's good counter arguments that I could be making right now. I just can't.
If you have any, please comment down below. We'll continue this conversation after this thing is over.
I am curious to hear what the listeners think and where they would rather live and the reasonings behind it, because again, this is something I am not prepared for. Jason just kind of sprung this let's talk about this, and then he makes good points.
But I can't get people living in Alaska. I can't get that. I mean, look, yes, if there's bases out there and I'm just like that, I can understand you're stationed out there, but you choosing to live in Alaska, that's just too much.
Well, my sister actually lived in Alaska for a while, and one of the things about Alaska is you have never seen more beautiful country. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous out there.
I've heard the same.
The con to that is you have a pretty decent chance of either getting gored by a moose or eaten by a bear. So,
both
of those things kind of make me.
That's awesome.
Both of those things kind of make me go, no, I'm good. I'm good where I am. I will give you a con since you're having problems finding a con about the West. We have animals here that can kill you in ways that are scary.
That's not really a con. That's more like people wishing Pokemon was real and they get the option to have that out there.
Except that these Pokemon might just bite you and kill you.
Well, that's just the cost of catching them all. It's the risk. It's the risk you got to take to get these badges, baby. I'm saying.
I mean,
you get the venomous snake badge. Congratulations.
I mean, we've got some
man,
Black Widows and
we got some dangerous bees out this mug, man.
Yeah. Black Widows, huh?
And if you don't stay hydrated, man, this humidity is a mother.
Black Widows, brown recluses, they can kill you easily.
We have those out here as well, but we also have something called a Gila monster.
We got those cicadas coming every 16 years.
It's got literally the title of monster in it. What is that?
It's called a Gila monster. It's one of the 3 venomous lizards in the world.
Oh yeah,
and it bites you. Then it locks its jaws like a pit bull.
Mm.
Hey! Keep the pit bulls out of this.
So those are your pit bulls out there, basically.
Leave the pit bulls out of this.
I love pit bulls.
We have a lot of pit bulls. There's nothing wrong with pit bulls. I love pit bulls. I'm just saying that they lock their jaws when they bite down.
Easy guy.
They're great dogs.
And Gila monsters do the same thing.
Fair enough.
9-foot rattlesnakes. It's fun.
Yay. Counter argument. I don't know what the food scene is over there as far as like stuff that I could eat either. I mean, Philadelphia, DC. I'm a vegan. So.
Got nothing but cactus over there, buddy. Just gotta get
we have lots of bark and like and pine cones. And
Yeah,
stuff.
he loves that stuff.
Sounds like a really appealing proposition.
Oh, man, that goes great. That goes great with his Panera bread.
Tucson is a big foodie town. It's also a kind of a bohemian type of a town. There's a lot of vegan restaurants up there. So
there you go. There you go, Griffin.
So I'll have options when I come visit one day. Okay. So
yeah, absolutely.
We got to take the show to the West Coast. I don't know. I'm flying out.
I think I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We have to do that.
You actually be able to see Jason.
Yes. Oh man, that'd be so much equipment for me to pack up and bring with me. So much. And I'm not bringing this 100-pound super high-end computer
hard drive.
either.
Good gracious.
Yeah. There's no way.
Just ship it. You'll be fine.
There's no way because you know how much money went into that computer. If that thing breaks, I don't know how to fix it. But it would take a while. For
those have been following us with the show since the beginning, man, and you've seen the change. Griffin has done his thing with this setup, man. I mean, I'm a little boxed in over here, but he's making it work.
Limited space
he's making it work.
With the narrative of what we're talking about.
Fantastic job.
Expensive. Well, thank you. Expensive area. It's hard to find space. So
100 episodes.
We're in a den. 100 episodes. Yeah.